Hey, today I'm going to be sharing with you the ultimate guide to getting ready for your next party. So 6 things that you can do to get better at party planning so that you can stress less and enjoy more. Are you ready? If you're new here, I'm Mara from Joyful Hostess, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm all about bringing the joy back to home entertaining and about making you a more confident hostess. So let's get this party started. The first things I like to do when I'm planning a celebration is to start with the end in mind. So I find that by starting with the end in mind, it just makes it really much simpler and easier to plan all the other pieces that go along with that. So I take some time and I think about what's the vibe I want to create from this party. Is it something more casual, like am I doing a casual kind of barbecue? Or is it a more formal dinner? Because those two events, you're going to plan them differently. Another thing too, when you're starting with the end in mind, think about the reason you want people to come together. Are they coming together because it's a housewarming? It's a bridal shower? It's, just a spur of the moment dinner? So those kinds of reasons, like the reason you're coming together and the vibe you want to create, if you keep those two things in mind in the beginning, it's going to be much easier to plan in the end. Okay, so you've decided on what the vibe is going to be. You know the reason that you're gathering people together. The next step is to pick a theme. Now, a theme doesn't have to be something over the top. I'm not talking you have to do, Hawaiian luau every time. A theme can be something as simple as just picking a color scheme. Or maybe you're going to make it seasonal. Or maybe it's one specific type of holiday, and that's just enough to be a theme. So the reason why I always like to pick a theme is that it makes things way easier when you're planning a party to have a theme in mind, because then it kind of simplifies all the choices that you have to make. So I'll give you an example. For my Galentine's Day party that I just hosted, I knew I wanted it to be feminine and pink. And so just thinking about that made it really easy for me to pick out what the drinks were going to be and what the table decor was going to look like, and even down to what the desserts were going to be, because I wanted them to have that pink color. So having a theme in mind really helps to cut down on all the decisions you might have to make, and you can be more confident that your choices will be cohesive and your event will look a little bit more put together. Planning is so important when it comes to hosting an event. And I don't care if it's as simple as just having people over for pizza. There's still going to be things you have to do, like just making sure that there's extra toilet paper in the bathroom for your guests. One of the things I like to do when I'm hosting is to start with a master list. So I have a book where I write down all the things that have to be done before the event. And then I go through those items one by one and figure out what needs to be done 2 weeks before, a week before, the day of. And by doing it in that way, I feel a little bit more organized and in control of what needs to happen. Another nice thing about having that master list is that if other people are looking to help, then it's really easy for you to go to the list and say, okay, if you could take care of items 2, 3, 4 for me, that would really make my life easier. Or the flip side is maybe you don't have people to you to ask for help. Maybe you need to ask for help and you can delegate next to those tasks that you want people to help you with. Yes, it takes a little bit more organization to create these lists and make the plan, but in the end, you will be feeling less stressed and a little bit more in control of what has to be done, because you can see it at a glance and work towards it bit by bit instead of, the night before just running around like a chicken with your head cut off. The more that you plan, the less stressed you'll be, and guess what? Then you'll get to enjoy more of the party that you worked so hard to plan for. So planning is definitely worth it. Okay, here's another tip that many hosts and hostesses just don't think to do, and that is to ask for help. It is more than okay to ask for help, because let's face it, hosting a party and event is a lot of work. Asking for help, you can do that in a number of different ways. So you can hire help, hire a caterer, hire the cleaning crew, hire a DJ, hire somebody to make the desserts for you. You can hire it out. If you don't have the funds for that, you can ask family members or friends for help too. So let's say you want to host a dinner party. It's perfectly okay to ask friends to say, would you mind bringing that appetizer that everybody loves? I think that would be fantastic. Or I just love your chocolate cake. Would you mind bringing that as a dessert? And that way they're helping out. They feel like they're contributing. And it's one less thing for you to do so that you can enjoy yourself. Another way to get help is to just purchase something that's already made. There is nothing wrong with getting a ready-made salad and just serving that. Or, a ready-made roasted chicken and having people over and serving that. So somewhere along the way as a hostess, we kind of got this idea that we had to do everything and we had to do it all from scratch. And the truth is, you don't. Trust me, people will still have a good time even if they're being served ready-made salad. Realizing you don't have to do it all really takes the pressure off so that when that big day comes, you can enjoy yourself too, because after all, as the host, you should be having fun too. This next tip is all about letting your personality shine. So whatever it is that you're hosting, be sure that you're being authentic and you're being you. Because if you're not, it really creates an awkwardness and your guests will feel that. So I'll give you an example. We were at a friend's house and they are very low-key, casual people, and they wanted to host this formal dinner party, which was fine. It was lovely. But I could tell that they weren't comfortable, which then made the rest of us uncomfortable because it was so not like them. So what I'm saying is, it's okay if you want to try something different. Just be sure that you have your own personal spin on it and you are still authentic and true to yourself when you're hosting. Because if not, believe me, your guests will feel that. Okay, are you ready for the most important tip? Here's the most important tip. Hosting does not have to be perfect in order for it to be fun. Really, we have to let go of this idea that everything has to go perfect. The food has to be perfect. The music has to be perfect. The house has to be perfectly clean. Because the fact of the matter is, it doesn't. In the end, it's not those things that truly matter. What truly matters is that you're spending time with people who are important to you and creating memories and really just enjoying your time together. There you have it, 6 ways to get you better at party planning so that you can stress less when it comes to hosting an event. So to recap for you, number 1, you're going to start with the end in mind. Number 2, you're going to pick a theme. Number 3, you're going to plan, because the more you plan, the easier it's going to be for you. Number 4, you're going to ask for help. Number 5, you're going to let your personality shine. And number 6, the most important, is to focus less on perfection, because after all, it's really about the people who are around your table than what's on your table that makes the event memorable. Cheers, my friends. May all your hours be happy ones. And if you liked this video, please be sure to hit like and subscribe, because I'll be sharing more hosting tips, recipes, and ideas here every Friday. And I would be so stoked if you would join me. Happy hosting!